Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about Call of Duty Modern Warfare and some of the customization and some of the modifications and blueprints that I have come across. So, this is kind of tucked under some of the mission menus, and it took me, till just now. I'm a level 11, so I've been playing for, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 hours already, and I just stumbled across these, and I went online, and there are a few videos out there explaining it, but I thought I would do an explanation as well, coming from a guy who doesn't really play a lot of Call of Duty until now. I'm really into it, so some of this may be second nature to some of you guys, but this is intended for everybody to follow along easily and to make sure you're getting the most out of your sessions, because you should be constantly working towards some goal to get some sort of progression outside of the standard experience that you will naturally get just by playing. So first things first, let's talk a little bit about weapon loadouts and how that system works. So inside the multiplayer tab, you just go over to weapons, and here you can select your presets. I've made one called Jimmy Rifle. You'll notice that in the top of the icon there, I'm using the Kilo 141. You'll notice that there are 5 ovals filled. That means I'm using all 5 of my slots, as opposed to a pistol, which I never use. You'll notice that there are none filled in. So you always want to strive for 5. You want to make sure that your gun is kitted out with all 5 things filled. But you will notice here that I have more than 5 options. I have the muzzle, optics, a stock, a perk, a rear grip, ammunition, and an underbarrel. Now, I do have some of these unlocked, even though you'll see that, like this one, for example, the muzzle, I have 2 of 7 unlocked. The optic, I have 5 of 21. You'll notice, for example, that I do have a perk unlocked, full metal jackets. If I go to select this perk, you'll notice that the game prompts me to replace one of my other perks. And you got to be mindful of what things you want. You can't have everything. So for me, the style that I have chosen, I like to take my time. I'm very slow and methodical. I do a lot of crouching. I do a lot of aim down sights. So for me, I took attachments that allow me to do that the best. And unfortunately, as much as I want to have full metal jacket rounds, they do not work well with my playstyle, so I do not have them. But everybody is different. There's going to be a lot of guides out there talking to you about which particular attachments are best and why. Keep that in mind, that as you unlock things, you'll see in the upper right there, these are some of the weapon unlocks I get. So as I continue to play, I will unlock more things. So it's worth coming back to check to see as your play style changes, as you begin to unlock more things, as you progress more, you may find that your favorite gun can be enhanced by some really useful unlocks that you didn't already have. So I just wanted to go over that briefly, because I think that's something that it's kind of clear, but I think it's worth thinking about, that you're going to want to get the most out of your guns. Now, the other 2 things I want to talk to you about are under the weapons tab here. We go over to barracks, actually. And under barracks, you'll see there are multiplayer challenges. Now, by default, these 3 challenges here, these are your daily challenges. By completing them, you will get whatever the perk happens to be, whether it be experience or some sort of custom spray, whatever. But if you tab over to missions, you'll notice there's a slew of things here to do. You make sure you have one of these selected. It doesn't matter which one you pick. I went with Infiltrator because I'm interested in getting the Union Black gun, which I'll talk about in a moment. But you'll see here that I have some objectives that I have to complete. So first I have to do objective 1, which is to complete 3 public matches, then capture 30 flags, etc., etc., etc. You always want to have one of these activated, because you're going to just naturally, over the course of time, do a lot of things. And had I known that this was an option, I probably would have completed something last night, because I was playing for a really, really long time. But you want to make sure that you have one of these activated. When you go back to your main screen with your character walking in the middle, you'll notice on the right-hand side now it does include both the daily challenge as long as the mission, which I have selected as Infiltrator. So keep that in mind. Always have a mission active. It's really a no-brainer. If you're not doing that, you're kind of wasting experience. Lastly, I wanted to talk to you guys about the blueprint system and how that works. So if you go under weapons and then your armory, you will open up your blueprint system. Now, I am assuming because I pre-ordered the game, I got these. I don't know what I did to earn these. I am assuming that this is just something that it was given to me. But that missions tab I showed you before, that's where you're going to get additional blueprints. Now, what a blueprint is it's a standard gun that has a unique look to it with unique perks to it. In some instances, it's going to be a gun that you can already unlock. In this particular case, this is the M4A1 assault rifle, and it's got this modification on it that they are calling the XRK-M4. Okay, and you'll see there the statistics there. It looks a little bit different than your standard M4. So when you start to unlock these things, and if you pre-order, I think everybody gets them. So I'm not really entirely sure, you know. If you didn't pre-order, I guess you're not going to have them, maybe. I don't know. But what you're going to want to do is when you go to your loadout screen and you go ahead and select a gun, like in this case, I've already selected my Kilo 141. That's my primary weapon. But you'll see here that I have, there's the standard M4A1 carbine. This is just a standard gun. But you'll notice that if I go over to the Armory tab, now I can select and get this modified one, which does have already 5 perks. You'll notice that on the upper right, or attachments rather, loaded onto the gun. Some of those attachments will be different than your standard suite of attachments. So these are really cool things, and this is a really cool system that's going to allow you to make sure that you are getting you know, additional guns. Sometimes, if I go back to the missions tab very briefly just to show you guys what I'm talking about here. Let me go back to missions here. Stand by 1 second. You go back to the multiplayer challenge and missions. You'll notice that some of the guns you can unlock are actually guns that you can't quite use yet. You will naturally unlock a lot of these guns just by playing, just by getting your regular experience points, leveling up, doing challenges, etc. But in some instances, these are guns that you can't yet unlock. So if you really want to play with some of these like end-level guns, find the mission that corresponds to your particular weapon, and make sure that you're working towards those so that you can at least start playing with it early. This game has a somewhat frustrating habit of kind of locking you behind content early, and you're going to have to grind it out. So the first few times you play, you're going to have a gun that doesn't have a lot of attachments, and as you slowly start to level up with your gun, like here you can see, I've gotten my Kilo to level 14. Finally, I'm starting to get a nice choice of weapon attachments. But for the legendary guns, if you just want to jump into it and get those missions to get those guns started, that's how you do it. So just a quick video for you guys. I hope you found this useful. Please share it with your friends. Let them know. Just make sure you're marching towards some sort of mission. Don't let all those hours of multiplayer go to waste. Try to always be working towards some secondary objective, and do yourself a favor, and every few missions, break out of the lobby, go back to your loadout screen, play with your different guns. Make sure you understand in the gunsmith system what various attachments you could have. Make sure you're picking guns and perks that match your play style. So again, for me, these are things that I'm interested in. That's why I chose the things that I did. Well, in this particular case, I only have one, but you get the idea. You know, you just want to make sure that you're picking things that are useful to you. So with that, I'm going to close out this video. Hope you guys found it informative. If you see vypermajik online on the PlayStation Network, that's me. I know the crossplay is enabled, so you might see me on other platforms. Go easy on me. I am still a baby. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy Modern Warfare. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.